After being off the grid for a week, Matt is back, so it's time to catch up on the news from the last week. Let's get into it.
Hello and welcome to What the F*** Just Happened Today, your essential guide to the daily shock and awe in national politics. I'm Joe Amditis. Let's get to it.
It's Monday, August 7th, 2023. Welcome to day 930. Donald Trump was indicted by special counsel Jack Smith on federal charges over his efforts to overturn the 2020 presidential election and subvert the will of the American voters. After the indictment was filed, Smith said the attack on our nation's capital on January 6, 2021 was an unprecedented assault on the seat of American democracy. He added it was fueled by lies by the defendant. Trump was charged with conspiracy to defraud the United States, as well as conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding and obstruction of and attempt to obstruct an official proceeding, as well as conspiracy against the right to vote and to have that vote counted. Prosecutors allege that Trump was determined to remain in power after losing the 2020 election, and that he and 6 unindicted co-conspirators orchestrated a conspiracy to overturn the results by using knowingly false claims of election fraud to obstruct the government function by which those results are collected, counted, and certified. The 6 co-conspirators who are not named in the indictment include Rudy Giuliani as co-conspirator 1, who promised a trial by combat on January 6th and was willing to pursue strategies the defendant's 2020 re-election campaign attorneys would not. John Eastman is co-conspirator number 2, who devised and attempted to implement a strategy to leverage the vice president's ceremonial role overseeing the certification proceeding to obstruct the certification of the presidential election. Sidney Powell is co-conspirator 3, whose unfounded claims of election fraud the defendant privately acknowledged to others sounded crazy. Jeffrey Clark is co-conspirator 4, who worked with Trump to use the Justice Department to open sham election crime investigations and influence state legislatures with knowingly false claims of election fraud. Kenneth Chesebro is co-conspirator number 5, who assisted in devising and attempting to implement a plan to submit fraudulent slates of presidential electors to obstruct the certification proceeding. And co-conspirator 6 is a political consultant who helped implement a plan to submit fraudulent slates of presidential electors to obstruct the certification proceeding. This was Trump's 3rd indictment and his 2nd on federal charges. He now faces 78 charges across his 3 indictments, 44 federal charges and 34 state charges, all of which are felonies in 3 jurisdictions. Trump, meanwhile, pleaded not guilty to the charges that he conspired to overturn the 2020 election and keep himself in power. It was the 3rd time in 4 months that Trump stood before a judge facing criminal charges. He will remain free while his case moves forward, but he was prohibited from speaking to any witnesses about the case except via his lawyers. Following the hearing, Trump claimed that this is a very sad day for America. This is a persecution of a political opponent. This was never supposed to happen in America. The next hearing in Trump's 2020 election conspiracy case was set for August 28th, days after the first debate of the 2024 Republican presidential primary. Meanwhile, special counsel Jack Smith asked a federal judge to place Trump under a protective order after Trump posted a message to Truth Social saying, "If you go after me, I'm coming after you," in all caps. Prosecutors said Trump's post specifically or by implication referenced those individuals in his criminal case, which could have a harmful chilling effect on witnesses. Prosecutors also raised concerns that Trump might improperly share evidence in the case on his social media account. The message was posted hours after Trump swore in court that he would not attempt to intimidate witnesses. A protective order would limit what Trump can publicly say about the case. Trump, meanwhile, asked for narrower limits on the protective order, arguing that the government seeks to restrict First Amendment rights. Meanwhile, Trump attacked special counsel Jack Smith and the judge assigned to oversee his election conspiracy case, posting to his social media platform that deranged Jack Smith is going before his number 1 draft pick, the judge of his dreams, who must be recused, in an attempt to take away my First Amendment rights. This despite the fact that he, the DOJ, and his many thug prosecutors are illegally leaking everything and anything to the fake news media. Trump also posted a message calling for Judge Tanya Chutkin's recusal and said that he was seeking a venue change, saying his claims were on very powerful grounds but refusing to elaborate. Hours later, Trump's attorney publicly walked back the plan, saying Trump was speaking with a layman's political sense. And finally, a federal judge dismissed Trump's defamation counterclaim against author E. Jean Carroll, who won a $5 million verdict against him for sexual abuse and defamation earlier this year. In June, Trump filed his counterclaim against Carroll, alleging that she defamed him by saying that he raped her. And jurors in the case didn't find that Trump had technically raped Carroll. Under New York law, rape is defined as forcible penetration with the penis, but in the ruling, Judge Lewis Kaplan noted that Carroll's statements were substantially true and dismissed Trump's counterclaim.
That's all for now. You can find the links and sources for all of these stories on the main website. And as always, visit whatthefjusthappenedtoday.com for the latest news and headlines. Until next time, I'm Joe Amditis.